Every person has considered at one time or another these eternally mysterious questions. Why am I here? Where did I come from? Where am I going? As a child in the 1960s, I had no real ambition to find out the meaning or the history of my life. I was an average American boy, growing up in an urban, middle-class neighborhood in Cincinnati, too busy being a kid to care whether or not my history was unique. Yet I knew my roots were not commonplace. As a young adult, I began to realize there was much that my mother, Margaret Werner, hadn't told me about her life during the decades she lived in Stalinist Russia. I knew she had suffered a great deal, but to what extent I really didn't know. I had wondered at times, but not all that much. I was a hard-living, wild young guy and didn't have the time to listen. Or so I thought. Besides, the past was the past, right? Why should I seek to understand and reckon with something as strange and troubling as the past, which can pull at you, haunt you, hurt you? But then I learned, as the years progressed, that coming to terms with your past can also heal you, if you let it. My feelings changed, and eventually I found myself consumed with knowing and understanding the whats, whens, and whys of my mother's life. One afternoon during the early 1990s, as my mother peeled potatoes at the kitchen sink, I asked her many questions, and she began to tell me more about her life, certain things I had never heard from her before. My mother spoke of her family's difficult times in Detroit during the Depression, a long ocean voyage to Europe, and a strange new life in Gorky, Russia. She mentioned several people she had known in the Soviet Union, including a young man named Victor Herman,